Okay, welcome guys to our new fantasy podcast for the NRL for 2020 called Number One Rule. My name's Jack, and today I'm going to be doing a bit of a breakdown of my team and hopefully give you a bit of options of guess who to pick this season. So, a bit of background. I'm going to be doing these podcasts every week with my good mate Tom. We're in a pretty big head-to-head league full of really good competition. Had a few guys in the top 1,000 last year, I think out of more than 100,000 people, which is pretty crazy. And ourselves, we finished, I think, in top 1,500, top 2,000, which again is pretty good. And we've had guys last year who won prizes, which again blows my mind. But anyway, what I'm going to be doing today is doing a bit of a breakdown of my team. So to quickly get through it, as my hooker, I've gone with Coruscant. Appy Coruscant from the Penny Panthers, 493k, break even of 34. And compared to the other traditional hookers like Smithy, Cook, and McInnes, who's injured, I just think if you're not getting a gun hooker, you kind of need Coruscant, just because of his price, and he's definitely going to make money. Front rowers, I've gone with Paddy Carrigan from the Broncos, Liam Knight from the Rabbitohs, both dual position front row, second row players. I've avoided Haas in the front row just so I could spread the money across my team a bit more evenly. Carrigan and Knight, both starting locks, both going to be playing bigger minutes than what they previously have been. And I think with a break even of 39 is Liam Knight and Carrigan's got 30. I just think there's too much potential there to make money to miss out on. So other options you could have gone with were Fafita. I know a lot of people have picked Fafita. I think like 40% or something like that. And who else we got? Fafita. Murray was another option. But I just think on the edge we have to kind of wait and see how he's going to go. So, yeah, Liam Knight and Carrigan is who I've gone with. Second rowers, so I've kind of, by not getting Haas, I could afford Tomalolo. So Tomalolo is my go-to gun for the second row this season. And accompanying him is Jack Williams and Jaden Sewer. So Tomalolo, I know what I'm going to get. He's 874. So by saving that 120k compared to Haas, I've kind of been able to spread that across my team. So Williams and Sewer, similar to Carrigan and Knight, they're going to be playing a lot more minutes. They're both starting. Williams starting at lock, Sewer's second row. And I just think priced at 412 and 472 for starting back rowers, they're definitely going to be making money. So that kind of rounds out my second row. Halves. So a lot of the guys have said that the half position is probably the hardest to pick this season. And I don't disagree. So to make it a bit easier for myself, I went straight to the top and I've got Moses and Cleary. Moses is my captain just because I know the Eels have a really easy run in the first 6 rounds, or what you would consider an easy run compared to the way the team stacked up towards the end of last year. So they've got the Bulldogs, the Tigers, the Titans, the Dragons, and another team as well. So fairly easy run, which is why I've captained him. I think he's going to get a lot of points. Cleary, I think, considering Maloney's not there this season and Luai is going to be partnering him in the halves, his kick meters are going to be up, his try assists are going to be up, hence he's going to be up in fantasy points, or that I'm hoping. So pretty high break evens, pretty high price, but compared to DCE, who is another option, he's 100 grand more expensive. They're kind of the two gun halves I've gone with. Centers. So centers is, I guess, the opposite for me. I've kind of gone really cheap with the centers. It's a position where it's always inconsistent. So I've gone with Watkins from the Titans and Jesse Arthurs from the Broncos. So Jesse Arthurs is dual position, centre wing fullback. Both of them are priced just over 300k. And given the inconsistency that centres usually have, I don't think there's any problem with going cheap with your centres. Latrell, when you look at Latrell, Hopewadi, Isan Masters, Bird did his ACL yesterday, so he won't be playing. But out of those 3 guys, they're all priced more than 550k, which is pretty expensive for a centre who can come out and get 20 or 30 points. So that's why I've gone cheap with the centres. Moving on to fullbacks. So Fullbacks, in the middle of my fullbacks, I've gone Tommy Trebojevic. He is a proven gun, but he's not quite priced at it at the moment, considering he had injury runs last season. So the other options I guess a lot of people are going with is Tedesco, who is 100k or 200k more expensive than Turbo. And I just think they can probably produce the same scores. Turbo is probably just a little bit more inconsistent. Or you've got Ponga, RTS, and another pretty common pick is Pappenhausen if I had to, I guess, choose one. So by not picking Pappenhausen, I've kind of saved money elsewhere. And to round out my winger fullbacks, I've gone with Caleb Aiken from the Penny Panthers and Zach Lomax. So I don't think either of those players are going to score very well, but they're both cheap. They're both going to be starting. Lomax is kicking goals. I just think everyone's going to have them. So if you don't, you're kind of missing out on the opportunity to make money. Even if they come out and get like 35 or 30 to 35, they're still going to make slow price rises, which is pretty good considering how tough the picking is at the start of this season. So yeah, that rounds out my fullbacks. Kicking off into interchange, I've gone with Luciano Leilua from the Tigers, Cohen Hess from the Cowboys, Blake Brayley from the Sharks, and Billy Walters from the Tigers. So Leilua and Hess, I just think they're underpriced second rowers considering they're both starting this season compared to last year. Hess is looking a lot fitter, and Leilua, he's starting. He can make a heap of tackle breaks. His minutes shouldn't be that much of an issue. I think he's going to play enough minutes where he can topple his BE just because of his ability. So his break-even's 35. If he's getting 40 to 50, hopefully more so 50, but if he gets 50, he's going to be making bulk price increases. So that's why I've gone with him. Brayley and Walters, they're just, I guess, cheaper hookers that everyone's going to have. I think Walters at 246 as a starting hooker, everyone needs to really get on him. Break even at 17, so there's money to be made with those two. And rounding out, I guess, my reserves bench in my interchange emergency. Just my emergency. I've gone Kurt Mann, Wakeham from the Bulldogs, Luai from the Panthers, and Toby Rudolph from the Sharks. So, Mann, Wakeham, and Luai, they're all cheap halves. They're probably not going to score the best out of all of them. I think Wakeham and maybe Mann might score okay, but they're all kind of guys you want to have on your emergency rather than your interchange if you can. And Rudolph's a bit of a punt. I mean, I was tossing up between him and Harry Grant, but I kind of just feel that he might be able to outscore Harry, especially if he's playing in the forwards, compared to a hooker role who might only get 5-10 minutes. So I might change that down the track, but I think that's who I'm going to stick with for the time being. So that kind of rounds out my team. As a bit of a theme for this podcast, our league always used to have a rule that the number one rule for fantasy is always captain Cameron Smith, and 99% of the time that used to get you out of trouble, no matter how bad your team was. So we kind of want to roll with this theme this year, where each week Tom and I give you our number one rule for the week. Tom's this week, even though he's not with us, is to pick Haas and captain Haas, and that's all you have to do. So if you want to stick with that, you can. But my number one rule this week is to, I guess, either pick cheapies that are going to make you money or like guaranteed guns. I know not all my players fit that category, but most of them sit between, I guess, either more than 700k or less than 450, 500k. So they're either going to be making money or scoring a lot of points. None of that in between where they're scoring awkwardly and not making any money. And that's kind of how you get stuck in a rut. So that's the number one rules this week, which will hopefully get you out of trouble if you just follow one of those ones. So yeah, we'll see you guys next week. Thanks for listening.